Hi guys, welcome to Watkins Way. Today we're going to make some meatloaf, but before I do that, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee and I'll be right back over there. The meatloaf recipe is one that my mom made when I was a kid, and she used a few things different that most people don't use today in it. So let's get started. Have a little sip of coffee. I'm using ground beef. I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef. It's a 90-10. I'm going to use about a half of bell pepper, half of just a regular white onion. My secret ingredient is, and my mom didn't put this in, but it's Heinz 57 sauce. I'm going to add that to the meatloaf. 2 eggs, and another thing that she did that I hadn't seen anybody do before, instead of putting breadcrumbs in the meatloaf, she used saltine crackers. Maybe she did it, I don't know if we were poor or what. She's trying to stretch the meatloaf out, but she would use saltines. So anyway, I'm going to take my ring off and let's get busy. We're going to put 2 eggs in here. Two eggs, and I'm going to cut up an onion. It's about a half an onion. Move that over, and then we're going to use a bell pepper. And let's cut this like this. And we're going to open it up. I think I need my paring knife in here now. And I want the bell pepper to be in little pieces also. So I'm just going to take it and slice it like this. This is just that way that you don't get one when you bite into it. I don't want you to be able to just taste all bell pepper. So we want to cut it up in little pieces. So we've got our bell peppers chopped up. We got about 1/4 a cup of bell peppers, 1/4 a cup of just a regular white onion. We'll talk about this a little bit later. This is my glaze. It's actually equal parts ketchup and brown sugar, maybe a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and we'll put that on at the last 15 minutes of cooking. My secret ingredient here is Heinz 57 sauce. So I'm going to dump in about 1/4 of a cup. Yep, 1/4 of a cup. Wasn't sure what that was at first. Then we're going to add our onions. And we're going to add our bell peppers, and we're going to be cooking this in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. Then we're going to take it out and make our glaze, put it back in the oven we're going to raise it up to 400 for 15 minutes. And then should be really moist, nice meatloaf, old-fashioned meatloaf. So my mom used saltine crackers. And I usually use breadcrumbs when I make meatloaf, but I figured, well, if my mom used it, I'm gonna always did what she told me to do anyway, so might as well keep doing it. So we're just gonna mix this up. And 45 minutes in the oven, and then another 15 minutes for the glaze will bring the temperature up to 165 degrees, is what we want. And going to keep it real moist. So let's just try to turn this over just a little bit to get this all mixed in. Then we're going to transfer it to a cookie sheet, and we're going to try to form a loaf. Okay, we got our meatloaf all mixed together with the bell peppers and onions and everything. So I'm going to try to transfer this over here to a cookie sheet. And then, you know, just with your hands, you can press this down, and you don't need a loaf pan. Just kind of press it down and form it into a loaf. You know, just like this. And that should do it. Now, let me dry my hands off here. That's going to be our meatloaf. It's going to be amazing meatloaf. It's going to be really moist in that brown sugar, ketchup, Dijon mustard glaze. It's going to be delicious. So anyway, let's head for the oven, guys. I'm going to put it in here on the center rack at 350 degrees. I'm going to head outside. I'll be back in 45 minutes. Okay, our meatloaf has been in for 45 minutes, so let's check on it and bring it out so we can do our glaze. It's hot, 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 hot. All right, what we did earlier, I made the glaze. I said it's just equal parts of ketchup and brown sugar. We're just gonna mix this up. And we're just gonna kind of spread it on top here. And we'll put it back in the oven for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. Then when we bring it out, probably when you bring it out, you want to let it rest for about 5 or 6 minutes. Just get a pastry brush, and that's all you got to do. Just kind of brush it on a little bit. And this is going to be so good. It's going to be so moist. Just get the sides. Now let's put it in for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. Just get our glaze going right, and I'm gonna turn that, put it on the center rack, turn it like that. All right, I'll be back in 15 minutes. All right, looks pretty good. Look at that. Got our glaze going there for us. Now what we want to do is we want to let this rest for a little bit, so we're going to let it just sit here for about 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then we'll transfer it over to the platter. And I tell you what, the best things to make with meatloaf is green beans and mashed potatoes. So I'll be right back in about 5 minutes. All right, our 5 minutes is up, so let's check out our meatloaf here. I'm gonna slice it up. It's important that you let it rest because otherwise if it's too hot, it can fall apart on you. So just see how this looks on the inside. All right, I'm gonna take this and set it right there. And I'm gonna cut these in probably 3/4 of an inch slices. You know what's really good? The next day, when this is cold, take it out of the refrigerator, put it on, I like to put it on white bread, but you can put it on any kind of bread you want. And I like to mix mustard and ketchup together and have cold meatloaf sandwiches. All right, so anyway, that's Mom's old-fashioned meatloaf with a brown sugar ketchup glaze. So guys, cheers, Happy New Year, thanks for watching, subscribe. See you guys later. Take care.